Every 15 minutes, a person in the United States dies of suicide. It's about 96 people a day. But how come no one's trying to do anything about it? How come awareness is not being spread? Until a year and a half ago, this concept of suicide had no spot in my life. I never thought it could reach home, but it did. My senior year, my only brother, Blake, died at the age of 23 to suicide. It was unexpected and earth-shattering. Ever since that day, my family and I have been actively involved in spreading suicide awareness. Today I'm going to discuss the cause and effects of suicide and what can be done to avoid suicide from ever being an option. In order to fight suicide, we have to figure out where suicide stems from. Suicide is highly related to mental illnesses such as schizophrenia, bipolar disorder, and depression. About 90% of people who die from suicide have one of these mental illnesses, and most of the time it's from depression that's unrecognized and untreated. Depression is the most treatable out of all mental illnesses, and the fact that it's the leading cause of suicide is shocking. But a lot of people don't know that their loved ones have a mental disorder that could cause them to commit suicide. I found a story online about a 13-year-old girl whose mother died from borderline personality disorder, which has a high rate of suicide. She wrote, "I never knew because she was such a great mother and could hide it well." People need to be educated so that they can recognize the signs of suicide and of undiagnosed or untreated mental disorders. Suicide isn't limited to one demographic. It happens to everyone. Between men and women have a higher attempt rate, while men have a complete suicide about 4 times as often. This could be because women use methods such as pills and cutting their wrists, while men do more violent ways such as shooting themselves or hanging themselves. Recently, there's been a peak in males between the ages of 19 and 23, which is the age range that my brother fell into. In the United States, Alaska has the highest suicide rate, which is largely contributed to by the native population. We can't live in a society that is ignorant of suicide, thinking that won't happen to them. It could be anyone, and we need to be aware and not take it so lightly. When people think about suicide, they rarely think of the survivors or the people who are left behind. Suicide has been known to rip families apart because they don't know how to deal with suicide. But luckily that didn't happen to me because I have such a strong family and we're getting through this together. A lot of people are not comfortable speaking about suicide, and many share their stories online. On this one website called SAVE, which is Suicide Awareness Voices of Education, a lot of people share their personal stories. And one that really stood out to me was about a girl named Desiree, who was 17, who died in a suicide pact with her boyfriend. And her friend wrote, "She will never know the number of people she has hurt. She will never know the damage she has done. She will never know how many people she has touched with her vibrant spirit. She will never know how much she will be missed. She will never know how much she is loved." I hope after hearing this, you guys are more inclined to get involved in helping spread suicide awareness, and there's many ways to do that. Next year, you can join the Center County Out of the Darkness Walk, which is held at Penn State, or you can join the new club of VID000, which purpose is to spread awareness of depression and the signs of suicide. You could donate money to the SAVE website or the American Foundation of Suicide Prevention, which hosts the Out of the Darkness Walk. And at the very least, you can reach out to someone who you know is going through a tough time and would like some help and some guidance. I have so many memories with my brother, and one that really stands out is when he would wrap me up in sweatshirts and sweatpants and take me outside in the 80-degree weather so that I could run up and down the lawn while he shot paintballs at me. It's not thinking about all the memories that I have with my brother that saddens me the most. It's the fact that I don't have the opportunity to create more with him. He will never walk me down the aisle at my wedding, he'll never hold my kids, and I'll never be able to corrupt his kids as I had always planned. It's everyone's responsibility to care for those in need, reach out to those who are lost, and to save those that see no other alternative. Suicide is real and it happens every day, and it's not something we can sweep under the rug. Suicide's a problem that needs to be addressed and not thought of as shameful or taboo. I encourage you all, as a brother, a sister, a daughter, a son, a friend, a student, and as a human being, to stop this epidemic so you or someone you know doesn't have to know the loss of a loved one to suicide. And I'm going to end with a quote from the SAVE website that I thought was really good. "People never forget a friend or a loved one who has succeeded in suicide. We carry it every day, not in the back of our minds, but in the center of our broken hearts."
Let's see, I'm gonna get Jacqueline's feedback from, I don't know, who's going to team. Oops, I